the fuck is up, guys? I'm back. I know it's been a minute. I got a couple episodes. I got the one I did, and I got another one. So, this one is gonna be a little different. We gonna shoot the shit on some. You can't please everybody. You know what I'm saying? Be happy with the best that you gave. You know what I'm saying? That's what we'll call this. Yeah. Given, you know, being okay with the job that you did. You know what I'm saying? Being okay with giving something a good effort. That's what this is gonna be about. This episode we're gonna talk about. We have to understand that when we in some situations and we do the best that we can, if it don't work out in our favor, that's all we could do. We can't be bitter and hurt about shit if it don't. If everything didn't go our way. If everything didn't go the way that we wanted to do. Because just shit just don't roll like that all the time. Everybody don't get everything. You might get this, but you might not get that. You might get that, but you might not get this. Just whatever the case may be, being content that you gave your best is something that everybody should be happy with. That's how we should look at the situation. Like, I ain't tripping that it didn't pan out this way. I did the best I could. It is what it is. And that can apply to a lot of situations, but in this situation that I'm talking about, we're just gonna kind of bounce around, but we're gonna start with parenting. Me and the situation with my children, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can only speak from my experiences. And I did make another video where I was a little upset, but now I'm coming back with a clear set of mind because I had to think about shit. I can only speak from my experiences, but I know that the experiences that I went through, a lot of people are probably going through with their children because nowadays these kids are out of control. My kids and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff because I didn't try to be their best friend. I was being a father. I would have rather them to have that version of me on their shoulder thinking I'm gonna kick their ass about a situation, like kind of like House Party when Trey, was always thinking about his daddy booping out, busting his ass as a grown man. He was whooping Trey's ass to work. But if you see Trey in the movie House Party, he had his shit together. He wasn't like Play with all the funny shit. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to keep his shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like getting home at certain times and everything. He was more of a person not in trouble, and Play was more of a guy in trouble. Those are the realities of those situations. So I didn't try to be a best friend to my kids. I tried to be a parent. I was trying to be strict, and ensuring that they had opportunities when they became adults. When they got 18 and they might have wanted to do this. Like my son said at one point in time when he was a young boy that he wanted to be an FBI agent. I kind of took it like I was offended when he first said it, like, oh, you want to be a cop? But nah, just, on some real shit, I pulled him aside and, I asked him if that's what he want to do, then he want to do. He could be the change. He could be the catalyst. And I take things to heart, and I started to try to make sure that he didn't get in no shit. You know what I'm saying? I was very hands-on with my children. I cared who they hung with. My kids will tell you some of the shit that I used to say to them. I used to tell them, don't be hanging around them niggas and shit with the nigga tree and all that. Whatever the case may be, I'm just saying y'all know what it is. You feel me? I just don't be around them people on fuck shit. That's just all I used to be on. Don't be around them kids that don't give a damn like they ain't got no parents because y'all got both parents at home. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got a reason to act good. But that didn't phase nothing. My kids still continue to do whatever they wanted to do. And they built resentment towards me over the years because I only bought what they needed, not what they wanted. Like, if they needed a pair of shoes, I got them some Nikes. Now, was they Michael Jordans? Nah. I'm not getting ready to do all that. I'm not. Yes, I did by myself Jordaniels and Jordans at a point in time. But that's my shit to buy myself that. That's what my kids don't understand. I'm not trying to do y'all like it? Like, have y'all in that situation where y'all, you got this pair of Jordans this week, and then next week they old and all this. You know what I'm saying? Just because y'all kids are going through different. Me, I could buy a pair of Jordans and I can wear them one time, they ain't got to wear them again. It don't matter. And then when I put them on again, I ain't got to worry about nobody telling me, ah man, them is last week's or last month's. But you kids are different nowadays. The bus drivers cutting on lights, y'all riding each other out and all type of stuff about just insulting each other. So I didn't get into that. I bought them nice Nikes. I didn't do shoe carnival. It's a few times we did shoe carnival. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. But for the most part, we would go to the mall and, I let them pick out. I would take like, $100, $150 at the most for a pair of shoes. And per person, you know what I'm saying? It's just realistic shit because I'm not going to throw a lot of money on shoes. Mariah, of all my kids, was the only one that she had all her pairs of shoes because it don't matter what pair of shoes I bought her, they all still look brand new. You know what I'm saying? And she got new school shoes every year. And she was the first one out of all my kids to get a job. She got a job when she was 16. And, I let her do whatever she wanted to do with her money. But anyways, my kids didn't understand the difference between needs and wants. I bought what y'all needed. I didn't buy what y'all wanted. You gonna get a job and you gonna work for the shit you want. I'm just gonna get what you need. And Mariah's the only one that understood that. The rest of my kids didn't. They'll hit me, with that. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. Like, I don't want her none of that shit. Like, I don't go for none of it. Like, everybody knows me that knows the situation with my kids. Y'all know that my ex, y'all know that she lost custody of my kids and that I ended up with custody of them. And I had to fight my mother for custody of my kids. Everybody knows that I don't want to be messy about the shit or none of that and talk about nobody and bash them. But I'm saying there's not many fathers that do the shit that I done. I'm saying I was down there hands on with the school signing up. I dealt with the food stamp people, the SNAP, the insurance. I dealt with, everybody hands on. My son's OCDC. I dealt with that hands on. I dealt with Dr. Ali. I used to have Dr. Ali drop his urine to make sure that his meds was in his system, taking stuff serious. Like, I did everything. Was my hands tied in a situation to where my kids felt like I didn't provide, I didn't bring that to the table? Yeah, because the way that we live life, it's many of us that live this. I don't know how many other men are in these situations that are like, I'm a natural born hustler. That's what I was. You know what I'm saying? Like, we made all type of ways to make money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not glorifying none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody that knows me and my family or whatever, they know what we did to make money, from the video games to the PlayStations and all that shit or whatever, or from when it was the smoke or whatever the case it may be. Like, people know. So I ain't got to go through that shit. But one thing I will say people know about me, y'all know I've always had hustle. I've never been the dude that some motherfuckers got to take care of. I've never been the dude. I've always been the dude to have my own. When I came home, I hit the ground running and got into all type of positivity. I signed up for school and learned so many trades and, participated in nonprofits, helping people. Like, man, I done a lot, bruh. Like, so for a person to try to make me feel like I ain't shit without them, when I'm saying, man, I was busting my ass going to work and putting in work on the road, trying to rebuild the pieces of everything that fell apart while I was, on that vacation. We'll say that, on that vacation. And I'm saying I helped rebuild things that I didn't even tear apart. You know what I'm saying? I was playing father to kids that wasn't even mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I did a whole lot. Nobody has ever really stopped in none of these situations to consider my train of thought or how I felt. Like, I never took the time to actually get myself together. I came out, sleeping on my mama's couch, trying to get custody of my kids, to moving out my cousin, sleeping on her. I remember sleeping in my little cousin's room on the princess bed and shit with the princess covers and everything. Like, very humble about where I stand today and where I come from. And that's why I feel the way I feel when some of the people say the shit that they say to me, because I know that a lot of people may feel a way about me because of how you may have said something to me and how I responded. I know I'm very aware that I give off that strict type tone or a serious tone. My homeboys used to always tell me, they'd be like, bro, if I didn't know you and know you had a good heart and what you meant by that, I would be ready to fight. And like I used to always tell them, how you gonna be mad at me for the way that your brain interprets some shit? Because at the end of the day, if I'm saying, just look at all the laws and the stuff that goes on around us. Look at how, if any of y'all was incarcerated or the government come to your home or whatever it is, y'all would be falling in line so easily. You can ask anybody around me, bro. I've never been the fall in line type, regardless of what it is. I was getting nonviolent demonstrations. Anytime I'd have never, been pulled over and shit. Like, I speak my mind. I've never been the dude to, like, yeah, I'm not gonna be like they pull me over and I'm, what the fuck you pull me over? I don't, I don't know if I can drop the F bomb, but I don't do all that. I'm, license registration. I'll be like, boom, boom, here you go. But can I ask you what you pulled me over for? I try to have respect about the shit, but I'm not just gonna take something. I'm not just gonna bite my tongue. I've never been that person. And people use that against me. People try to paint me as some type of monster or I'm an abusive ass person because I verbally will tell you some shit you don't want to hear. They say the truth hurts. So I'm the person that will tell you what the truth is. And that's why a bunch of people may not have a like for me or a care, but I don't give a fuck. It don't sway nothing. I understand who I am and I know the void that I leave in people's presence when I'm not around because I'm aware of the shit that I do to be a friend or a partner to someone. I know my train of thought and how I think about the next person and what I'm trying to do. So I know that if you don't think I do a lot and I'm gone, I know it's going to be a void because I know what I did on a daily basis. And now who's going to do it for you? So when it comes to my children and parenting, again, I say I didn't try to be a best friend. I was more of a father. I could care less about being your friend. I don't care if you liked what I said to you. You heard what I said. But my intentions for my children was to ensure that they had opportunities. That's all it was. Like the work that went in when my daughter started making straight A's and the teachers was like, hey, Mariah's had straight A's and all of this. I called myself trying to protect her and give her the tools to be able to excel in the things that she was doing in journalism and everything and all that. I didn't get her a cell phone early and let her get into all that because I wanted her to try to be a child as much as possible. So I allowed her the tablets and all that stuff because if I can show people videos and all of it when she was a child, she was like a journalist making videos with the iPad and all of that. She wasn't caring about the other shit that my daughter Kayla and them, who had cell phones and stealing people's cell phones and chasing girls and got girlfriend, all type of shit. Like I could not regulate that shit, but I didn't want that for my other two children. When she started to excel the way she did, I took a serious, hands-on honing in, trying to guide which way she went. When I seen her a couple of days ago, just the audacity of these kids sometimes, bruh. Like the way our situation ended, I'll say this is how things ended with me and my ex-wife and the family. Me and her got into an argument. If she could tell her story however it was. I'm just gonna say this: we got into an argument. It led to the police being called. It led to her saying that I choked her and all type of extra shit, and they locked me up for arguing in front of a minor, not domestic or assault or no extra shit. They locked me up for arguing in front of a minor. I've never heard of this shit. And then they try to enhance it because my son was 15 and hadn't turned 16. And I was just wondering, like, they made me step outside and then they was all in there talking. I mean, anybody that know me, y'all know what's up. Y'all know the safe got open. She went in there, did what she did, took whatever, left whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't speak on it. I'm not tripping because it's all over. I'm just saying what happened. Everybody knows what happened. I went to jail for 4 days. I got out, couldn't text nobody, couldn't call nobody. I had to walk all the way to my vehicle. My keys was in there. I had to call, like, it was messy. I'm talking about to try to get my shit out of my own apartment. Her name wasn't on there. It was me and my kids, bruh. But them people gave her full free reign over everything because she had already had my kids. And I'm saying this not to be messy, but imagine I know my kids' state of mind when they went down there because she was already telling my kids about the dude she was messing with. You know what I'm saying? Let them know she had another dude and all this shit. Like, it's just how ornery that this person was when I'm over here surrounded by my cousin and all these people and all these, she bring all these women around that's about something, and you think that I'm stuck on you and you painting this crazy ass picture with our kids telling them about you dealing with somebody else's shit, just like the level of respect was just trash. It was what it was. So, I took them to trial. I fought them, bruh. I fought them. Anybody can look it up. Over here, Clark County, I fought them, and I got found not guilty. After that, I moved to West Virginia. I tried to help and brought her and him up to West Virginia, and the same shit happened in West Virginia, bro, and I was just done. That was the last straw. I didn't care no more or nothing. Things happened, people done passed away and all of that stuff. And she used to reach out, and I'm not capping. She talked to her answer machine. I would never pick up the phone. I would see the calls and all that because I'm done. I'm not, what people fail to realize, I'm not bitter. It's not just her that I don't talk to. It's a couple people out there that I don't communicate with no more. And, y'all might see these videos and say whatever. And in the back of y'all mind, y'all might be like, fuck me. Yeah, that's why I don't fuck with y'all. That's why I'm not communicating and everything, because in y'all minds, y'all feel like y'all was right for whatever it was. And in my mind, I feel like I was right because I'm the person at the end of the day that, bro, I don't call none of y'all and ask for nothing. I don't call nobody and ask for nothing. If I do ask you for something, it'd be like some shit like, hey, bro, can you send me a code? It sent the code to your email. But who paid for the program? I did. I ain't never asked you to give me a license or put my email on there so I can get codes to my emails or whatever it is. I ain't never did none of this shit that people have done to me expecting me to be okay. Like, you can't do something to somebody and then try to tell them how to take it. And I take it same sentiment too. So I understand if I may have offended people before, or if I've rubbed you the wrong way, you might be like, hey, fuck it, dude. Ain't nothing I can do about it, but understand that's how you feel. Why am I going to go out my way to try to make you feel different when I don't give a fuck? It's you that do. That's what people don't understand. Seeing my child in that store was random, bro. Me and my son got out, I was looking at a grill. I was looking at them grills they had out there for $199 or $200. But in her mind, she asked me, "What did you find my job?" Find your job? Like, why would I be looking for you? Why? When all y'all do is talk crazy and disrespectful. You tell me, she tells me she's going to college. And I know she's going to college. Right down the street. And I'm like, why? When you had a full free ride, she gonna hit me with some, first of all, as if I'm not the one that made the choice to drive you back and forth across a bridge. If I didn't give a fuck about what school you went to, I would have just put you in a school over here, Jeff High or something. I wouldn't have talked to all them people trying to make sure that you could stay in Manual because of all the shit you did to get in Manual. But that didn't factor in when you was feeling like your mother was feeling and tell me that I don't deserve to see you walk across stage when I drove across that bridge for 4 years in a row. You don't care how that shit made me feel. You was so mad because I made you go live with them to go somewhere to get myself together. Like, that's how selfish my children were. Like, you would rather me have dragged you all the way to the mountains to live up there in the mountains in the middle of bum knows where than to send you over to live with your mama. And then you have some resentment towards me now to where when I've tried to reach out several times to try to speak, you act like I owe you any more than what I did. I'm saying, bruh, what could I have done? But when it all boils down to it, it's like this. If my child ever sees this, I want her to understand this clearly. You expected 9 backflips from me. I gave you 7 or 8. I don't give a fuck that you mad because I didn't give you 1 or 2 more when I gave you the best that I could. Child, you was the one that expected so much of me and not your mother. It led to you being disappointed, not me. The For me to have been this so-called weak-ass person that wasn't about nothing, why is so much placed upon me? People don't call me unless it's a for sure fucked up situation like I'm in jail. Why? You don't call me before you in jail or before you fucked up or before that situation. So why don't you think you gonna hurt my mouth when you only call me when you in jail? Of course you gonna hurt my mouth. Of course you are. You gonna hurt some shit. Because I'm saying you never call me unless you're in I ain't got no choice but to call. So yeah, you gonna hurt my 2 cents. The shit that I went through trying to be a parent to these kids, I ain't even gonna go through the crazy shit my son took me through. Y'all, everybody know me, y'all know, off the chain. And I'm saying I was very, very, like, wasn't all this portraying of me being some type of monster. Man, the CPS was always in my crib. Marcella Nelson used to come in the house and everything. All them people was always over there. I was very communicative. My door was open and everything. I never like, no, don't, you can't come see my kids or have like, nah, bro. Nothing was ever substantiated against me. What came to be was they realized I was just a strict ass father. That's all it was, bro. Like the world that we live in is soft. Like, you know what I'm saying? My son was doing shit like pissing in the corner. And when we talk to his doctors and therapists about it, you know, they tell me I need to get a chart and put stars up. Man, I wish the hell I would. I wish I would reward him with this star system and shit that they created while he's, oh, you didn't piss in the corner today, I'm gonna give you a star. Man, make that shit make sense. I didn't grow up like that, so he's not gonna grow up like that. If I would have did something like that, my mother would have busted my head with whatever she could have got. So I was on his ass the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't play that shit. You know, like, and I'm going to say this. Anybody that knows me, y'all know my son's shit was together until me and her started to fall out. Because she allowed my son to go out and hang out with these people knowing my son was stealing, knowing my son was going out, hanging out with people bringing BB guns and all this monkey ass shit. She allowed him to go out and do this. How is that not a woman wanting to see her, you got so much hate towards me that you wanted to see my son fail and crash out, because guess what? He wouldn't have been like your other sons. He would have been the only one of your sons that didn't have no felonies or nothing, that would have been able to do this and do that and do this. And you took control from me and allowed him to disrespect me and crash out and go to jail and catch gun cases and everything to prove what to me? What? Because I'm saying you ruined the relationship between me and him, and you ruined that boy's life. Because I'm saying he got all type of goddamn cases and shit now. And I was on his ass. He was felony free, 9th, 10th grade, getting ready to graduate. He had like a year or 2 left, bro. I was on him about a job and everything. You know, I was on him. So, yeah. When I'm around some of y'all today, do I feel some type of way about shit because y'all allow y'all kids to do all this frivolous shit? Yeah, I do, in a way. Because I had a nutting ass woman come between me and my children and stop my kids from being the best that they could. And to the point to where now my kids feel like they could talk to me crazy and that I owe them something. Like, man, we as people have to be content that we did the best that we could in some of these situations, bro. I gave them the best that I could. I didn't have no book on how to be a father. I'm a man myself that grew up with a father that was in and out, a mother that was on drugs. And I'm saying I was even abused by my stepmother for fucking 8 years, 7, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no parenting book on how to do this shit. Me and her did the best job that we could. She followed my lead on a lot of shit. And towards the end, she didn't, you know, and it led the way that it led. It ain't no bad blood or nothing, but I'm saying I don't owe y'all nothing to where when y'all see me, y'all got so much disrespect for me. Gonna hit me with some first of all. Like, man, first of all, what? First, who are you talking to? I'm still Mariah at the end of the day. I don't care who I'm around. You, if you come talking to me like you talk to the old Mariah, you gonna get the old Mariah. But if you come to me on a new type of energy or wave, you might get this new version of me to where I might be like, hey, what's up? But I'm gonna always be me, bruh. I'm not gonna, like, I don't care what the fuck some of y'all think about me, bro. Some of y'all really have an opinion about every goddamn thing except yourselves and what y'all lives are. Look around you and see what the fuck you got going on. I swear to y'all, ain't nothing around me. You see baby shit and me making these podcast episodes about mental health because nobody ever stopped to ask me how do I feel. Mariah, how you think about this? Like from cousins to baby mamas to fathers to sisters and everything. Nobody's ever given a fuck about how I feel. But when I bloop the fuck out on y'all, when y'all come trying me, then it's I'm the bad guy. I'm the Jekyll and Hyde. I'm bitter. I'm like, no, bro. It's just that y'all don't never factor in the one simple thing. It's like this. Why would I crash out for some of y'all? Like, y'all stupid. So why wouldn't I question you? Like, I'm not that dude. I've never been. So I can't give nobody no more than what I've given. You know, you too. Anybody, whoever watches this, you have to understand. Fuck them. If you give somebody the best that you can and it's not enough, why the fuck are you disappointed in you? Why are you mad that you couldn't pull off just one more for this person? Like, why? I'm saying, bro, they should have been satisfied enough with the effort that you gave just because you gave an effort. If people understand this shit and they stop placing so much of an expectation on people, it would be more positivity and more connecting and more what's the word I'm looking for right here? More networking because people will be surprised that, damn, I didn't expect you to be able to do that. Boy, you did that. You know what I'm saying? But when you, like, it's just like reading a text message. You can type, hey, exclamation mark, and ask 20 people, what's it say? Some's going to say it says, hey, hey. Some say it's going to say, hey. That's just how some people's brains interpret shit. And it could have been a simple and ecstatic, hey, like, hey, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But people don't think about shit like that when you assuming some shit from a text or expecting a person to give you something and them not meeting your unknown expectations, bruh. Like, bruh, be happy with the effort you put out. Stop giving so much energy to weak motherfuckers, feeling like you have to be more for a person that really ain't shit. You know, I ain't gonna go into detail. I got a situation where, you know, a person said a bunch of people don't like me. Don't give a fuck. What am I supposed to conduct myself every day like I want you to like me? Nah, I don't want you to like me. I don't care if you like me. I'm not doing nothing to make you dislike me. It's just that I'm not doing nothing to make you like me and you're mad. Like, bro, be me every day. I don't have too many words for too many people unless you say something to me. However, anybody take something, it's not on me, bruh. That's on your brain, on your mental. Because I don't have to try to clean up whatever somebody's thoughts are or whatever somebody might feel like I need to earn their respect. I don't have to. I mean, how does no mean no for some, but when it comes to Mariah, no don't mean no, or I don't give a fuck don't mean it means, hey, well, you do give a fuck. Like, no, bro, I don't care. I really don't care what a lot of people got going on. I've stressed this 1,000 times. It may be only one person that I give a fuck about, and just because this is who you fuck with, I might tolerate that shit. But I swear to you, I'm kind of like my grandfather. I don't like a lot of you people. I'm just being real. And that's let me be specific. That's black, white, Mexican, Chinese, Asian, Jamaican, tall, small, whatever you are. It's just people, period. Because a lot of people are just on bullshit. A lot of people are just bogus. And it's just my dealings. Like, I done been a barber. I done renovated homes. Like, I know it's 1,000 things I know how to do, bro. Like, I done been in a million situations. And it's just that how the next person may feel about a situation today, many people don't give a fuck about that. So, I mean, I do. I think about how the next person may feel about something. So I may not do this or I may do that, or I might get frustrated and then, I may not care about what the next person think about a situation, because sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's just how it is when we frustrated with stuff. We don't care. But nonetheless, I'm saying I've never been uh like an unlikable person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish Miss Jordan was alive to tell when I went to River Valley, a lot of the people that I know from Clarksville and all that, like, I was Mr. Popular back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I was Mr. Popular back in the day. What changed in me, bruh, is just people. I just started to see, like, I mean, I guess me being placed in a situation that I was placed in, seeing who all turned on me and who was who, and you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff that I had never ever expected to happen. Like, when you growing up with people and y'all cool, y'all tight, and y'all have bonds and shit, you don't see y'all falling out over nothing when y'all don't trip over girls or nothing. You don't see no reason that y'all fall out. So when a person does some extremely fuck you type shit, I mean, how are you supposed to take it? How are we the ones supposed to clean up when you cross us? When somebody crosses us to make us feel the way that we feel, say you go on that vacation, your girl mess with your partner and everything. Why I gotta clean that up with y'all? Why I gotta make you feel better about yourself, and why I gotta make him feel better about himself? Why do y'all feel like I owe y'all anything when y'all made that choice? I will admit that I'll be a fool to place myself in that situation with y'all ever again anyways. Like, why would you try to trust those two people again? Because, I mean, why could you? How could you? When it's family involved, you could deal with family, but the trust will never be there again. It will never be there. Y'all could rock and y'all could, see each other, speak and say what's up. But as far as like the trust is destroyed, the trust will never be there. And I guess that's what it is with me. Like, a lot of people felt some type of way about who I was back then. And when things became unfortunate for me, a lot of people became happy. My kids suffered, a lot of shit. My daughter was molested and everything. It was a lot of stuff that went on. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of stuff. None of my family came to her rescue. None of my family stepped up, and none of that shit, So I understand her anger sometimes and how she feels, but she don't try to do shit about it. She just crashes out. She uses it like a scapegoat now. And I know she's mentally fucked up, mental awareness. I be trying to talk to her, but she just on so much. All she want to do is use me. But I'm saying family didn't step up for her, and they didn't step up for me. So I don't know what they expecting me to step up to do for them. I don't know what they expecting me to, let go of or whatever. I don't know because I'm not holding on to nothing. It's simply I'm giving y'all the same energy in life that I give anybody else that didn't kind of play me in those situations. I reciprocate the energy that was put out, bro. Like I ain't on no funny stuff. I just reciprocate the energy that was put out. So I'm content with what I give people. I'm content that I gave people enough. I'm not going out my way trying to please nobody else, bro. Like it's always gonna set you up for failure, bro. You go out your way and do something for people trying to be nice, and then that person turn out to be an asshole, bro. You don't get back. You don't get back your life and whatever time you gave towards helping that person and all that shit you gave. You know what I'm saying? I used to be big on this. I remember some of the shit you said. So you better watch what you say to me because we might not never be cool. The damage is done, you know. But some people feel like they can say some shit to you and you just supposed to let it go. Like, ah, damn, bro, you still tripping on that? Yeah, because where that shit come from? It's just what it is. Where'd it come from? Because you have to be conscious of that, bro. You have to be conscious of the signs that people show you nowadays. Just all it is, bro. Be self-protective. Like, I don't know. I'm just like I said, the mental side of things is what I speak about. Just trying to speak on these situations because I swear to you, I'm honestly very, very content with the effort that I gave everybody, my children, my baby mama, my father, everybody. Like the only one that I would say that I wish I would have tried different with or tried harder was with my mama. But anybody else, like I don't give no fucks if y'all not happy the way that things turned out because I did the best, especially for my kids. Like, bro, I went above and beyond, but no Buzz Lightyear for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. I'm sorry that I didn't fucking have the how to be a perfect daddy manual, but nonetheless, I was there. You know, and to some of the people that might feel like I'm an asshole, like it's one person particularly. I'm I'm gonna just say this. I did the best that I could. I didn't know that that man was gonna call me on three-way and have me on speakerphone with y'all in the background telling y'all to be quiet. I was wrong for saying the things that I said about you to him. But I never gave you a sign that I liked you other than I liked you as professional. I didn't never give you no signs that I wanted to smash, hit, do none of that. So when you was telling people I was your future husband and all of that shit, like it never gonna happen. And I don't know how was I supposed to be polite about that and not never say nothing when it was just the way you were so sure of yourself that that's the shit that you was saying the shit around him. So that's what made me say it. So the energy with everybody else, like that situation between me and Al down there at Goodfellas. That man beat me out of 15 grand. I was doing all them jobs and he kept lying to me saying that it was like some discrepancy with the checks. Scott was gonna get the check in the account or whatever and all this. How I found out, this is how the information was brought to me. I was sent to go help somebody do something at a place. I went to go help this person do something, and they said, "Hey, Mariah, what are you gonna do?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I created that. That's my stuff." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did that. That's what I did. Like I think we doing something with that. I think he said he was doing. No, he did, but your name's not on her nowhere, and it's like blah 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 money in there." I'm like, "Do what?" I was blown away, bruh. Because I'm saying this. I was the nice, happy-go-lucky dude rounding up all these people. giving this man the keys to my car, giving people the keys to my studio, allowing her access to everything that I had, allowing everybody the access that I had, and I got burned by everybody, bruh. My car went down. I didn't get no help from. I'm saying my car had 30,000 miles on it, damn near brand new when I started letting him use it, and I'm out all day riding in this bucket while you driving in my car, and I'm driving in this bucket with people renovating houses. Like that man beat me out of that money, bro, because I was naive and trusting. Like, yeah, I feel some type of way about dealing with you niggas. I don't care how y'all feel about that. I'm gonna be reluctant to jump in another business deal with somebody else because I got burnt. I can't help it. You ain't got the talents I got, and you ain't tried to network with somebody and got burnt by somebody having you go out doing a bunch of jobs and you know tell you that as soon as the check clear, I got you, and then you found out the check's been clearing. When you a hustler, you not tripping over the small fries because you waiting for the back end. That's what they say nowadays. Shit, I was like, he would throw me a little 400. So, I was like, shit, I ain't tripping. Okay, all right, cool. You say the back end come when I was hustling, so I had a little bread. I'm saying this man, I quit working at Toyota to do business with these dudes, and they make it seem like I wasn't about nothing. I'm saying, like, to give y'all more context, when I had that studio, I was letting people come over, bro. I was taking some of the stuff that I was getting in food stamps and stuff from my children, and I was buying stuff for the studio and shit with like a little bit of money and whatever we could for the homies to come in, expecting, them to give me $1 or something back so I could just keep the flow going. Like, bro, I lost in every aspect. You know what I'm saying? Especially with, like people like Mercury and all them. I'm gonna speak on they wonder why I feel the way I feel about people and why he was somebody that was damn near practically always in the studio, never had you try to think that you fooling me with your drug addiction because I don't see you getting high, but you don't think about the small shit like you got a job but you always broke. And you always come to the studio want to eat up some shit and drink up some shit in here. You don't never come in here with nothing. So yeah, I knew you were spending your money on something. I just never questioned it. But to use me the way that they did, to have me recording and buying beats and supplying food and all that studio shit, to be backdooring with other people and trying to sign management deals with other motherfuckers and all that shit behind my back. I'm saying, brother, why'd you even come to me? And why didn't you just go deal with them? Why didn't you go to their place and record at their place and have them buy you beats and eat up food in their studios? You didn't. You came to my establishment and did that shit. And I gave everybody them contracts for like 6-7 days, whatever it was, to go home and show y'all parents and everything before y'all did it. And all y'all did that shit amicably. And now y'all want to act like I was some bad person. Nobody lost nothing but me and Sydney. Sydney lost a little bit, but I lost everything. Sydney lost friendships with some of y'all because I spoke my mind. I'm saying I spoke my mind on situations because I gave y'all my best. I did the best that I could. I don't care that it didn't pan out the way you wanted. You bring cornball ass niggas around me that try to tell me how to redecorate something I invited them to. Okay, so I'm saying, forget me. Say Mariah was wrong. Mariah, you should have listened to everybody. You should have took everybody's opinion in. Okay. I should have took everybody's opinion in. Fast forward. It's about 6-7 years now. What is anybody doing? I'm saying at least I'm doing these little episodes or something. I'm saying you can see the growth in me. What growth do you see in any of them? You see these dudes still rapping locally at the same spots that they was doing, the same shit that they was doing 7 years ago. Where's the growth at? How does it take this rapper with this cheesy song to blow up in 6 months, but it's taking you 7 years and you ain't even got no notion, nobody really know who you are. But when I speak on that, I'm bashing people. I'm a toxic person. I got negative energy. Nah, I live in a reality. I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm going to tell you that you're not as talented as you think you are. I'm not saying that you can't be. You can be if you stop thinking you was already there. If it's like feeling you the fastest man on earth until somebody smoke your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to understand that it's always some room for growth. Y'all, I can't explain it, bro. I'm just saying it's just a whole lot of people used me, man. That's why I feel the way I feel about people, bro. They ain't no bad blood with nobody. I ain't got no ill will. It's that fuck you energy that y'all get is just because I done just been played by a lot of people, bro. So I don't really have no interest in what nobody's talking about. I understand y'all might like to hang out at the clubs. Y'all might like to do this and go fishing. You know, I know in some of the conversations, people say I overtalk you. And like, hold on, let me just talk. Let me finish. I get it. You ain't got to talk to me. You ain't got to say shit to me. And I promise I won't say shit to you. So you ain't got to worry about me over talking you. It don't, everything with me is never going to go your way. I'm not expecting it to go my way. But we can meet in the middle somewhere. If you don't think that we can meet in the middle somewhere, guess what? I don't give a fuck at all. So I don't care what you think. I don't care. Like, if your train of thought is ever fuck you, I'll lose my whole train of thought from that on out is completely fuck you. It's I don't even give a fuck no more. I don't care because I always try to be a person of reason. And I feel like when it comes to the fuck you shit, the petty shit, like, you know, some of the shit that I've been going through, you know, I'm good. I'm content. Fuck with my son. You know, I might pull up on a few people out of town or whatever. But other than that, I'm straight, bro. I'm not in here losing no sleep because somebody don't fuck with me. I'm not losing no motivation because y'all not rocking with me. Y'all not thinking about me. Y'all not like, nah, bro. I don't care, bro. I'm being 100%. Y'all not who y'all think y'all are. A lot of people ain't. So with that being said, man, be content with what you give somebody. Don't feel like you owe a motherfucker no more, man. Be okay that you gave your best, dog. If you know in your heart and your mind you did the best you could, man, don't keep striving trying to get nobody's respect. Don't feel like you gotta stop and look at yourself and reassess and reevaluate your character because you around too many small ass people. If you always, like they said, like Shannon Sharp them said, if you always gotta be a bigger person, you around too many small people. Because you shouldn't always have to be the bigger person. It should be some type of understanding with somebody. It should be some my bads, bro. I wasn't thinking about that from that point. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think about how you may have felt in a situation. You know what I'm saying? Like real life homies trying to correct me about somebody you met online. But you want to pull me and check me like, hey, that's my friend. Like, yeah, bro, let people like that in your life go. You don't need that type of shit because it's going to make you a difficult person to deal with when it comes to other people. That's why I'm very conscious and I be trying to be communicative with some of the people that I do communicate with. If I communicate with you and I take a liking to you, I tell you, like, look, bro, this is what it is. Like, I just really don't fuck with too many people. You know, I'm super antisocial, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And you know, as long as we cool and we cordial, I ain't gonna never try to be on no bully shit, no fucked up energy. But I swear to God, bro, I don't care who you are. You ever give me that fuck you energy, I swear that's all you ever gonna get from me. You will never get another energy from me but fuck you energy. Because I'm not that dude. I don't go around fucking with nobody. I could care less what anybody going on. I'm super cool. Like, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? Hey, you know, woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? And if you the type of person, you know, because I'm happy and you like, look at this happy motherfucker, man, get out of my way. Nigga, every time you see me, it's what? That's the energy you gonna get from me from now on. It just all it is. It ain't no fake shit to it. It's just that, you know, I ain't never been fond of bullies and I ain't gonna be bullied. Like, I don't care that you think that I'm not supposed to have a voice. I got a voice. I don't care. I don't go around. If you look through any of my pictures, I don't boast and brag on none of that. I don't do none of that extra shit that people make it seem like I do. I don't. But I'm very content with the effort I gave y'all. And if it didn't work out, so what? It's your loss, not mine. I'm not hurt about the situation. It is some people that I miss y'all as friends, and some of y'all because I know that, you know, I got a homie. You know, he got an alcohol problem. That's all it is. I got a couple homies with alcohol problems, but I got one homie that got an alcohol problem, and he don't see how it used to upset me because he would always want to play the role of somebody less and shit. Like, he always want to be less. He always want to be a nigga that ain't got nothing, a dope fiend or struggling or this or that. He just always wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I knew what it was, me being a dude real big on mental health. You know, I just used to be like, damn, like, bro's in at loop I was stuck in, to where, you know, he just feel like he ain't enough for nobody. He feel like what he's doing ain't shit. Like, he ain't got the big confidence. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? And me personally, I had the confidence, bro. Like, I had the confidence. I didn't let nobody break me down like that, because I grew up the way I grew up, seeing my mother struggle and everything. So, you know, if you not content with the effort I gave you in some type of venture we was in, or, you know, some type of dealing or communication or whatever little brief path we have crossed in life, I don't care. It's not, I don't lose no sleep over that shit. I got some grades, but it ain't from that. You know, got them kids I got, but it ain't from, you know, oh, don't nobody call me, don't nobody hit me, and none of it. Like, nah, bro, I'm comfortable. The people that love me truly love me. I got some people that love me, some homies that, if I need them, they there for me. I got true friends. I got a partner, you know, a couple partners, but I got one true homie, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I take him through some shit sometimes, but I got one true partner. I don't care about a lot of shit that people may want me to care about. I'm not you. I'm me. I'm content. Learn to live with that. Learn to be happy with being you, bro. Your mother named you what she named you. She made you who she made you. You went through whatever you went through in life to be where you at today, and your only setback may be because you keep trying to please everybody except for you. Please you. Do what's gonna make you happy, because if you're not happy, how can you make somebody else happy? If you're not comfortable, how can you make somebody else comfortable? You have to be okay with the effort that you given. You have to be confident going into a situation knowing that, you know, however this plays, you know, I'm just going to do this for you and I'm out. You know, if it don't do all that, you know, then I'm sorry. You know, and if people ain't content with that, then, bro, you know, to hell with them. So, you know, that's all I wanted to sit and kind of talk about, you know, just a little bit of that, a little bit of that to clean up how I was feeling from running into my child, because I did go make the post when I went to a whole nother store, and I got to thinking about it more. I don't even want to go to Home Depot. I started going to Lowe's. So it is what it is. And because I'm not in that shit, but just to show you how serious I am, this is my child. And she thought that I followed her to a store. Well, I'm like, which I ain't, what the fuck? Like, where? Like, bro, I ain't seen him about 3 years. And you think that, anyways, I'm gonna go to Lowe's from now on. Lowe's for the pros, okay? From now on, because y'all got me fucked up, bro. Like, just people, period. If what I gave didn't amount to shit and y'all think I ain't nothing, guess what? That's your fault. It ain't told me up. I ain't losing no sleep. It might look like I got a tear coming down my eye, but I don't. Yes, I do hurt sometimes, and I have genuine feelings about it, because y'all my kids, and some of y'all was true friends, and I do miss y'all and shit, man. But Man, I'm straight on all that other shit y'all was taking nigga through emotionally, man, mentally, man. Like I don't need all that shit, bro. Like I'm good. Okay? I'm very good. I'm getting me together mentally slowly but surely. I don't need to open back up those doors to where y'all have me doubting myself again and feeling like I was feeling and shit. Like, nah, bro, I don't like it. I don't like when people make me feel like I was less than when I know I was trying to be a person's best friend. I was trying to make sure that, if you need me, I was always coming through for you. Like, you could ask my baby. There's plenty of times she see people call me and I stop everything I'm doing for them. Like, yeah, nah, it wasn't the same when it came to Mariah. And you can't be mad at me because I know it and I said, fuck you. You can't be mad at me because I realized that you don't care about me how I care about you. I'm gonna stop giving a fuck. Period. Why play tit for tat with people and okay, well, I'm gonna bring down the level that I care to about right here because I think that's about where he's at or she's at with it. Like, nah, bro. I just cut people off. That's what I do. I love hard and I hate harder. I disassociate and distance. So far, Alaska type code. I'm talking about off the grid, Kanye. Man, I don't play. So it's your boy Mariah. It is what it is. I'm out of here. Eat.